Guys, I hope you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shakha, and I welcome you to this podcast episode in the Millionaire Hippie podcast. I am so grateful that you guys are listening and subscribing and downloading my podcast episodes and hopefully learning from it, which is my ardent desire. With everything that I do, I don't want it to be a waste. I want people to learn from it. In this episode, I want to speak to you guys about schooling and how there's this myth in this world right now that if you just get more schooling, then everything is going to be all right. If you just go to university and get a 4-year degree, or if you go to college and get a 1 or 2 year degree, or if you just get a master's, or if you just get a PhD, or if you just go back to school over and over and over again, everything, all the problems in your life are going to be solved. Problems being that fact that you can't get a job, problems being that you don't know how to do a certain skill set, problems being that you want to get out there being a writer and a creative person, or being a podcaster, or creating courses online, but you don't know how to. The truth of the matter is, and this is something that I've learned over the past few years of being alive, and the fact that really irks me is that schooling is absolutely useless. Unless you're doing something like becoming a doctor, where you actually need to have a degree in order to work, or you're doing plumbing or electric work where you actually need to have some kind of schooling to do it, although I really think that you can even learn that on your own. Unless you're doing something very specific like space travel, where you need to have a degree in astronomy or something like that, or you're doing something to do with brains where you need a neuropsychology or a neurophysiology degree. In those cases, yes, please go to school and get more degrees and learn more about it, because that's something that you need to do. But in other cases where, you're just doing something where it's very creative and you have to just sit down and do the work, instead of schooling, all you need to do is sit down and do the work, but instead of doing that, you're going to get more schooling. That's when you need to stop yourself. Stop yourself right now and say, no, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to distract myself. I'm not going to resist myself by going and getting more schooling, more degrees, more nonsensical papers that are never going to help me in any case. I'm going to go do the work. That is what you guys need to do. For example, I have a billion examples of this, but for example, I have a friend of mine who has an MFA. I think that's a Master's of Fine Arts. Basically, she wanted to be a writer when she was young, and she was a great writer. She wrote beautifully, just beautifully. It was just so much better than I'd ever written. I could ever write. Right? She was a natural at it. But instead of actually, thinking, okay, I'm just going to write every single day and write books or novels or poetry or whatever it is, she decided, as a lot of people decide or wrongly decide, that I'm going to go to university for it. So she went to university for it. She got a bachelor's in it and she got a master's in it. And then she was thinking about getting a PhD, but she got married and she had kids, so she couldn't. But it was really interesting to me because I was thinking to myself, have you done any writing? Have you done any real writing in the past few years rather than doing all these degrees? Besides for thesis or for school writing, I asked her if she had done any real writing. I mean, writing for the real world, like novels or poetry or even a blog post. And she said no, because she was learning how to write. She's like, I don't know how to write yet. I need to learn how to write. I need to learn the skill sets how to write. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, think about all the different writers that you follow, all of the different beautiful, amazing, talented writers out there. What do they do? I mean, do they all have a degree in writing? I don't believe so. I really don't think so. Some of them might, perhaps. But all the ones that I love, I absolutely love Stephen Pressfield. He doesn't have a degree of writing. I love Elizabeth Gilbert. I love her writing. She doesn't have a degree in writing, George R. Martin, I don't think he has a degree. I'm not sure. They might have secretive degrees here or there. But from my research, it doesn't seem like they have official 4, 5, 6, 10 years of degree work from a particular university. They might have taught at a university. They might have an honorary degree. But a lot of people that I know, they don't actually get degrees in order to do the work they need to do. Same thing with artists. Same thing with coaches. Same things with online business owners. A lot of people ask me, what degree do you have or what qualification do you have in order to create these courses online for Udemy? Or what qualification do you have or what makes you an expert to create these videos about INFJs? Or what qualification do you have to create a podcast? And I think to myself, I have nothing, no qualification at all. All I have is a really insane sense of curiosity, an insane desire to learn, an insane desire to keep on growing and bettering myself, and this weird sense within me that if anyone else can do this on this planet, I can do it as well. So if someone else on the planet has a podcast, then I can have a podcast too. If someone else has a YouTube channel, then why not me? If someone else is a writer out there and doesn't have a degree and is doing it on their own, then I can do it as well. And so this is what kind of keeps pushing me onwards and forwards and upwards, right? I just really wanted to do this video or this podcast because it's really important to me, because I noticed this over and over and over again. I'll give you another example. Recently I decided I really want to do comedy skits on YouTube. So, little skits, highlighting some random issue, making people laugh, teaching them a little bit something as well, and then doing them and putting them out on YouTube. So obviously I have to do them in the real world with other people. I can do them on my own, but I prefer to have 2 or 3 people doing a skit together, kind of bringing their creativity into it and then sharing with the world. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, how am I going to make this happen? Because that's always my thing in my head. How am I going to make this happen? How? I always think how. I never think, oh my God, I can't make this happen, or oh my God, this is too much, or why am I even thinking about it, or no, I can't do it. I never ever think in those terms anymore. I always think, how am I going to make this happen? And as the universe is beautiful and gracious, it always sends me all these signs and signals. So I thought to myself, yeah, that's a great idea. Let me put a posting on Craigslist asking people if they would be interested. And of course, I got 1 billion responses. I got so many responses in just one day that I had to cancel the posting after just one day, after 24 hours. And I got enough people messaging me that I was like, okay, I need to delete this posting, right? So that's the abundance of the universe. And so I decided to talk to one of them who seemed interesting. He had done stand-up, he'd done sketch comedy, he was interested in all that stuff. And when we were talking, we were messaging back and forth, one of the main things he says was that, I've been wanting to do comedy skits for a long time, but I'm not good enough at them because I think I need more schooling. And that's what I'm going to do this year or next year once I gather enough funds, is that I'm going to go to school for it. I'm going to go to comedy school for it. I'm going to go to Second City. I'm going to learn more from doing improv lessons. I'm going to do this and that. So he had a long list of lessons that he had to go take, a long list of schooling that he had to go take before he could do anything. He's like, I'll help you with this because it'll be a good learning experience for me, but I'm going to go back to school for it. I just wanted to let you know. First of all, I was like, I don't really care. As soon as people start talking about going back to school, my mind shuts off. And I think to myself, boring. Because that's what it is. It's boring to go back to school. It's harder and more interesting to stay in the real world and do your work, whatever work it might be, writing every single day, or creating comedy skits, or creating a website, or doing an online bit, whatever it might be. To me, it's more interesting and harder and more exciting to say, I'm not going to go back to school for this because I don't need schooling. All the information that I need is online for free. I mean, I read this thing where this mother built a house using YouTube videos. I mean, boggles the mind, right? So all the information you need is online for free mostly, or you pay a little bit of money for it to gain access to certain more information. And it's all there, and you can use it to create whatever you want, to do whatever you want, and you have nothing to worry about because everyone else is doing exactly the same thing as well, right? This is what I do with everything that I do. I mean, do I know anything about comedy skits? I have no idea. This person was sending me all these terms and phrases and descriptions and all these technical terms for things in the biz, in the showbiz, he said. I laughed to myself. And I thought to myself, okay, but is it really important to know all these terms in order to be successful or in order to do these skits? All I want to do is the skits. I really don't know where they're going to go. I don't know if people are going to like them. I don't know if people are going to hate them. I don't know if there are people even going to watch them. I have no idea, right? I'm just doing them. Why? Because I want to do them. Because I have this insane curiosity inside of me, this thirst for knowledge, and this thing that's telling me I want to do comedy skits. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's the inner child in me she's like, I think it'd be fun to do comedy skits. Let's do comedy skits. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Because that's what I do. I'm just always satisfying my curiosity. I might do them and I think, this is not fun. I thought it'd be fun, but it's not. So I'll stop doing them. Or I love them. I've done improv in the past and I loved it. So I think I might love this as well. And I might love them. I'll be like, okay, cool. I'm going to do more. I'm going to write more scripts. I'm going to do more of these, right? And so you never know what will happen with it. I don't know what the success or failure rate of this will be. That's not my point. That's not the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm really excited by the idea and I really, 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 really want to do them, right? So I really want you guys to be careful, because there's this tendency in the world to think, oh, if I just get more schooling, everything else is going to be all right. I'm going to get the job that I want. I'm going to become that creative person that I want. I'm going to live that ideal life that I want. And I know, because I used to think exactly the same way. And I know now that it's not the truth. Everything that I do right now, everything that I do, none of it I learned in school. All of it I learned myself. How to do these videos, I learned myself. How to do podcasts, I learned myself. How to do online businesses, I learned myself. All of this stuff that I'm doing right now, the comedy skits, I don't know anything about them, but I'm going to do them and I'm going to learn from the experience of doing them. And that's how I'm going to grow in that. Like I do everything else. Same thing with writing. I don't know how to write a perfect sentence. I don't know how to write a perfect thesis. I don't know anything about that, but I'm writing every single day and that's how I'm learning, right? And I read a lot too, and I read beautiful novels and I learn from that. So I really want you guys to be careful. Do not use schooling as an excuse to distract yourself from the real world. All of the real work that you need to do has to happen here, right now in this moment. It doesn't happen after a bunch of schooling. It doesn't happen after a bunch of degrees. It happens right now. You have to sit down and do the work. That's what's important, not more schooling. All right? I hope this makes sense to you guys. I really, really, really wanted to share this because it was really irking me. I was seeing it over and over again. It was really annoying me because I was like, no, you don't need to go back to school. Just do it. Just do the work. Okay? Again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being on my podcast, the Millionaire Hippie Podcast. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been sending my way. And if you guys have any questions at all, you can message me anytime or email me anytime at boomshikha@themillionairehippie.com. I shall see you guys in the next episode. Talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.